Hello again, it's me, Alberto again, and I am here to talk about literary narrative texts, their definition and structure. So, what is a literary text? Maybe you know lots of literature, but what is really a literary text? Well, this specific kind of text employs the artistic use of language, written or oral. In it, words are used with a specific technique to create an effect. In a literary text, the content is important, but also the form that language is used in it. There are different genres within the literary text. Short stories and novels are the main narrative ones. Poetry could be narrative, descriptive, or evocative. And finally, we have essays, which are individual thoughts presented in a witty way. There are different kinds of literary texts. It would be impossible to list all of them, but this is like a very general basic definitions. There are a lot of discussion about which is the main role of literature, to say only fiction or to say historical things, facts. A historical text and a literary text can share the same information. Nevertheless, the literary text is not going to focus only on the facts, but also in the way they are told. This kind of text use rhetorical figures such as metaphors or hyperboles. So it's not that literature is not interested in telling stories. The fact is that the more important thing about literature is the way these stories are told. So if you want to become a great writer, you need to know a lot of things, but also you need to know how to express, how to say, how to share these things. So what is the specific structure of a literary text? Many of these literary texts have a chronological structure. There is the introduction of the plot, where the main characters are presented and their context, then the development or body, where the main action or conflict takes place, and finally the result of the previous stages of the story is presented in the conclusion, which can be closed. In traditional literary texts, the author gives detail about what happens to the characters, if they die, if they live happily ever after, etc. Or this ending can be open, where we do not have any clue to know what happened. It is open to our interpretation. So this is more or less the basic structure of a literary text. In the beginning we have our main characters, then something happens with these characters and we have like the climax, and then we have the conclusion. It's like with all this journey that happened with our characters, something happened, and it could be something happy, it could be something sad, but it's a conclusion. We don't know anything else about these characters. That is more or less the basic structure of a literary text.